Hello students, how are you all? This is Raima again with a new video on nutrition in animals, where we are going to continue the discussion about the process of digestion. In the previous video of this topic, we discussed how digestion takes place in other animals and also a little bit about the digestive system of humans. So let's continue. The topics that we are going to cover in this video include digestion in human, which we will continue, enzymatic activity in human digestion, teeth, tooth decay, and discovery of stomach. So, the digestion process in human beings, it occurs in three stages. The cephalic stage, which includes the mixing of food in the mouth with the saliva, and its mechanical digestion by by the chewing of teeth. The second phase is gastric phase, where the food, when after it is swallowed, it reaches the stomach and gastric juices are secreted, where the digestion process begins in the stomach. And lastly, the intestinal phase, where the food finally reaches from the stomach into the intestine, and in the intestine, the intestinal juices are secreted, where further digestion of the food products takes place, and also absorption takes place. So this picture basically shows all the steps in the process of digestion. First is the ingestion of food, where the mechanical digestion of food is taking place in the mouth with the help of teeth. Saliva is also being secreted, and the food is getting mixed with the saliva. Then it is swallowed, and by the way of pharynx, it reaches the esophagus. This process is known as propulsion, and propulsion involves swallowing, and then the movement of the muscles of basically the whole alimentary canal is starting from the esophagus. The muscles, they periodically contract and relax for pushing the food downwards. This process is known as peristalsis. So it not only takes place in the esophagus, it also occurs in stomach, a small intestine, and large intestine, so that the food continuously move downwards. The next process is chemical digestion, where the gastric juices work in stomach, intestinal juices, bile juice, and pancreatic juice works in the small intestine. And after everything is digested, the absorption process starts. In the absorption process, the nutrients and water are absorbed to the blood vessels and the lymph vessels in the small intestine only, and only water is absorbed in the large intestine, nothing else. So large intestine basically doesn't have much work to perform except absorption of water. And finally, the feces, they reach the anus, where the process of defecation occurs. Defecation is the process of egestion. It is the egestion process. So these are the steps that take place in the digestion in human beings. In the enzymatic activity in human digestion, enzymes are those substances, they are basically biocatalysts which speed up the rate of reaction without being consumed during the course of reaction. So they are helping in breaking down of the products faster, at a faster rate, and they do so without being consumed during the reaction. So they are very helpful, especially in the digestion process. They are essential to the digestion process. They work with other chemicals in the body like stomach acid and bile to help break down food into molecules for a wide range of bodily functions. Carbohydrates, for instance, are needed for energy. Carbohydrates are energy giving foods, while proteins, they are necessary for building up of tissues and muscles. And there are other functions also performed by fats and RNA and DNA. So, in during the enzymatic activity in human digestion, there are four major groups of enzymes. Each of the enzyme is capable of breaking down one nutrient. So, first are carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, they are they act on carbohydrates and they break down carbohydrates into sugars, and these sugars are finally absorbed. The second major group of enzymes are proteases. Proteases act on proteins and they basically convert proteins into amino acids. The third major group are lipases. Lipases, on the other hand, they act on fats and lipases convert fats into fatty acids plus glycerol. And finally, the fatty acids and the glycerol molecule are absorbed. The fourth group include DNases and RNases. DNases and RNases, they act on DNA and RNA and they convert into their corresponding nucleotides. So, DNAs will convert uh, DNA into its corresponding nucleotides, and RNases will convert RNA into its corresponding nucleotides. So, sugars are the monomers of carbohydrates, amino acids are monomers of proteins, fatty acids and glycerol are monomers of fats, and the nucleotides are the monomers of DNA and RNA. So the final product of digestion are all the monomers which are then absorbed and then they are assimilated by the cells in the synthesis of various products like carbohydrates, protein, fats, DNA and RNA, but according to the requirement of each and every cell. So let's continue with the mechanical digestion part where teeth are involved. So teeth are very important because they basically break down the large particles of food and they also help in mixing the food with the saliva. Saliva, it contains an important enzyme also which is salivary amylase, also known as ptyalin. Salivary amylase basically acts on starch. 30% of starch is digested in the mouth only by the action of salivary amylase. So, when we break down the food with the help of teeth, it actually increases the surface area so that salivary amylase can act on the digestion of starch, can act on starch for its digestion. So, basically, we have four types of teeth. Uh, Incisors, canine, molars, and premolars. Molars and premolars are basically grinding teeth. Canines are tearing type of teeth, and incisors for biting. These are the four types of teeth. And in the structure of the teeth, if you look at a tooth, you will find a, completely exposed part, the white colored part. It is known as crown, and the part which is basically embedded into the gum, which is attached to the gum, is known as the neck, and the part that is embedded inside the gum and the jawbone, it is known as root. So this white shiny part of the crown is known as enamel, and under the enamel there is dentine. So after dentine there is pulp cavity, in which there is a gelatinous pulp, and there is nerve and blood vessels also pass through the pulp cavity, and below which there is gum. Cement actually helps in fixing the tooth into the socket of the jawbone. So these are the important parts of the structure of teeth. Whenever we eat food, oral hygiene, our elders always talk about oral hygiene and how important it is for us. Because when the food gets stuck to the teeth, the bacteria, they uh, get actually they get a lot of things to attack our teeth with. When the food gets stuck, for example the sugars which are present in the carbohydrates, the bacteria, it's a party for bacteria. The bacteria, they convert the sugars into acids, and these acids, they create cavities in our teeth, which can be very detrimental if they are not taken care of. So tooth decay is actually damage that occurs to your teeth, which can result in cavities and dental abscesses, or even tooth loss. If it is not taken care of properly, then you will lose your teeth. It's caused by the activity of certain species of bacteria, and they can live in dental plaque. Plaque is actually this yellow colored of if we are not cleaning our teeth properly, then there is a yellow layer that forms over the teeth, which is known as dental plaque. uh, the bacteria in the plaque can convert sugars into acids, and these acids, they start um, they start dissolving the enamel of our teeth and start making holes or cavities inside the teeth. Okay, this is a healthy tooth. This is a tooth with plaque, and this is with caries and cavity. That means it is actually visible. You can see black colored something on your tooth if it is decaying. So proper oral hygiene is very, very important. It is advised that we should brush our teeth, if it is possible, after every meal, but at least twice a day we should brush our teeth, so that we can remove all the debris or food that is stuck on our teeth. Now, there is an interesting story with respect to the discovery of a stomach. There was a guy, his name was Alexis Saint Martin. In June of 1822, he suffered a shotgun wound to his side. So when he suffered this wound, the wound was actually the size of a fist. So his military doctor was shocked. He was shocked that this fur trader actually survived this wound. And Alexis recovered, but his wound never properly healed. So Dr. Beaumont, he hired him as his handyman, and for the next 10 years, he studied Alexis and his wound. At that time, no one knew what happened to the food after it is swallowed. So in 1833, Dr. Beaumont actually released his groundbreaking internal medicine book, which was on the gastric juices, which was on the experimentations and observation on the gastric juices and physiology of digestion. And uh, Alexis, basically, he survived and he lived for 58 years with his wound, and he died at the age of 86 years. And this is how the stomach was discovered. This is Dr. Beaumont. And this guy is Alexis Saint Martin. And this is his wound. So, this is quite an interesting story for you. Now, let's begin with some questions. What are the 4 important categories of enzymes? Which are functional in digestion process? So, the 4 important categories are carbohydrates, lipases, proteases, and DNases and RNases. Next question is about the large intestine. What is the importance of large intestine? If you are thinking about water absorption, you're probably correct. Water absorption is the only main role that occurs in large intestine. Large intestine is not at all involved in the digestion of anything. But there is one more important function that is performed by the large intestine. That is synthesis of vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is folic acid. Vitamin B12 is very important for the production of blood, and there are some bacteria which are known as colic bacteria present in the large intestine. These colic bacteria are involved in the synthesis of vitamin B12 in large intestine. So, last question is about a fun fact. At what age Alexis Saint Martin died? Yes, you're absolutely correct. At the age of 86 years. So, guys, I hope you liked my video. If you have any doubts related to all the topics that we discuss in the in this video, you can post them on the forum and I will be very happy to answer the questions. Stay tuned for the next video, next and the last video of nutrition in animals. I'll see you soon. Thank you.